so we're going to jump in now to vocal control. Voice control is super important. When you think about it, if you have a powerful voice, then you've got a big step up as a speaker and your ability to influence people. Otherwise, if you're not able to use your voice well, you may as well just send an email with your talk written out. So I want to do a section with you now on how to sound confident, clear, and powerful with your actual voice. In August 2016, I was speaking on stage at a big conference that was at National Harbor in Maryland in the USA. And I got off stage and I thought I'd done a pretty good job. I mean, I was definitely better than that terrified, terrible, nervous wreck that I used to be. And the audience were very polite and clapped for me, and I walked off the stage feeling pretty proud of myself. My ego was intact, my confidence was boosted, and I'm there living the dream thinking, yay, me. And I sat down in the audience and I relaxed and I got ready to enjoy the next speaker. And then the next speaker walked out and he started to talk. And within 2 seconds, I forgot about my talk completely. This guy had my total attention. His voice didn't just fill this enormous auditorium, it commanded it. Every pause, every shift in tone, every word that he selected, they all landed with mastery and precision. It was mesmerizing to listen to. Now, I've seen great speakers before, but this was the first time that I truly understood the power, the real power of controlling your vocal palate when you speak. By this time, I'd started to identify the skills that speakers use to elevate their speaking style. And I could see the things that he was doing and how he was delivering, and I could start to recognize the techniques he was using. And if you've done any kind of training with me before, you'll know that I very firmly believe that public speaking confidence is about technique, not talent. So in that moment, I didn't just admire this speaker for his magnificent skills. I was personally really humbled because I suddenly realized there are so many levels to this speaking game. And I really needed to level up if I was going to have the kind of impact that I wanted to have. So today I'm going to share with you a few of the ways that I have learnt to help turn my voice into a tool for greater impact. The first thing that I realised is that our voices can fail us when we're under pressure. And what most people do when they are nervous is one of three things. First one is to try and speak really, really fast to get it over and done with, so you can get off the stage as quickly as humanly possible. The second one is to speak really quietly so that we don't stand out and nobody notices us. And the third thing is to try to sound calm by speaking tightly and quite loudly. Maybe you recognize yourself in one of those. I very helpfully overachieved and have done all three at various times. Problem is, what this creates is monotonous delivery, rushed sentences, and often really weak projection. And what that translates into for your audience is you've lost authority. People stop listening if you don't have good control of your voice. Even if our message is fantastic, they will stop listening. I think of our voices being like a spotlight on a dark stage. And when that spotlight is weak or shaky or rushed, the light kind of flickers and people strain to see us in the audience. That means our message gets missed. and our authority kind of fades back into the background. But when our voices are steady, powerful, and very deliberate, then that spotlight, it locks in on us, and the room knows exactly where to look, exactly who to listen to, and exactly who's in charge. The great thing is that vocal authority is not something we have to wait to feel. It's something that we can switch on. It's a technique that we can learn. There are so many different ways of doing this, but today I have selected 5 of my favorite tips to help you to switch on better vocal authority and control. Number 1, shaky voice. Our nerves often settle in our jaws first. That makes our voice feel really unsteady. So the solution to this is to take your tongue and gently press it to the roof of your mouth for 2 to 3 seconds before you speak. You can't see the inside of my mouth, but this is what it looks like from the outside. Now, as a result of that, your jaw will soften, your voice will steady, and the tone of voice comes across as much more grounded, and it's almost an instant fix. So that's a great technique if you've got a shaky voice. Press the tongue to the roof of your mouth for 2 or 3 seconds before you talk. Tip number 2, if you've got somebody who's got a high nervous pitch, then usually it's caused by having your chin lifted up quite high, because that sends your voice upwards and can make the voice sound thin and anxious. Or my Mickey Mouse squeak that I mastered beautifully, and it took me a long time to get rid of. So the solution to that high nervous pitch, if that's something that you're struggling with, is to lower your chin a little bit. And as a result of lowering your chin, your voice is going to drop into a deeper, calmer, more confident tone. And studies have shown that the deeper your voice, the more authoritative you sound. Tip number 3, that rushed opening line. Problem is that first word often wants to sprint out of our mouth as soon as we get started because we're nervous and we want to get this over and done with as quickly as humanly possible. One of the best ways to overcome that and to reclaim that vocal authority is to take your first word and stretch it out just a little longer than feels really comfortable. As a result of doing that, we slow the moment down. It gives us the chance to settle into our voice and establish calm authority right from the very beginning. Number 4, forced volume. We often try and force volume when we're trying to sound confident. Maybe you've done that. The solution to this is to gently drop to a near whisper on your most important line. When you drop your voice to a near whisper, the room is going to lean in, pay more attention, and that quiet becomes quietly powerful. Final tip number 5. Voice is too quiet. The problem here is when we feel nervous, we often aim our voice at the floor. Our posture closes in, and that compresses our diaphragm, which means that our voice, the sound is weakened before it even leaves our body. So the solution to this is to choose a spot in the back of the room and gently send your words to that spot. And while you're doing that, drop your shoulders and move your elbows away from your ribs. So there should be a fist length of space between your elbow and your rib. And that will help you to deliver with a stronger voice. These small shifts change how your voice feels to your audience, how it carries to your audience, and how you're leading when you're speaking. But, and this is a but that I want you really to pay attention to, you don't need to master everything at once. In fact, I invite you to choose just one of those techniques and then bring that into your speaker toolkit and practice it consistently until you have let your voice evolve into that technique step by step. It's much better to do one thing well than to try and do 5 things poorly. Please don't get overwhelmed and try to do them all at once. That's a mistake that I have made. I'd like you to spare that pain and waste of time. If you do want to fast track your speaking skills, please message me and we can chat about how that might look. So let me finish this section with a pro tip. If you ever get on stage to deliver a talk, try really hard to make sure that when you're doing that, you're not doing it right before, or worse, right after a best-selling author and serial entrepreneur like I did. And I've got the wrong share there, so I'll share with you who I had to go on stage before and who moved me so much with his talk. Gary Vaynerchuk. And sadly, yes, that is the most flattering photo that I could find of that event. So we're going to stop that now because that should never be seen in public again. Okay, so hopefully we've got some great tips for managing our vocal control now. So of those 5 tips that you have seen today, please pop into the chat for me which one you are going to incorporate into your speaker toolkit. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. What do we have here? We've got number 4 for Jason, 3 for Shannon, 2 for Lisa, 5 for Kimberly, 3 for Jenny, 3 and 4 Tamira. We're being an overachiever. Try and narrow that down to 1 if you can. Just really nail number 1, like one of them, and then move on. Erin, Felicity, Jenny Lynn, you guys have all selected 1. Fantastic. Wonderful. Okay. Time for another demonstration. So you can sit back and relax while you listen to this next speaker. If you have ever wished that your accountant understood your business the way that you do, you're about to meet someone who really does. Felicity is a chartered accountant and founder of Tax Espresso, where she partners with business owners and is part of their team. She offers calm guidance, practical clarity, and real support through every business decision. She believes that numbers should not stress you out. They should support you, empower you, and help your business to grow. Please welcome Felicity Belmont.
Thank you, Danielle. So let's start with a simple truth. Time is your most valuable resource. You can't buy more of it, you can't borrow it, and you can't get it back once it's gone. Though as business owners, you face endless demands, managing operations, customers, and growth, while trying to stay on top of your financials and tax obligations. We know too well how it feels when paperwork piles up and the invoices lag behind. It's like being stuck at a red light and you're eager to move forward, but you can't go anywhere. Our mission is to help you break free of that time trap by being more than just your accountants and show up just only once a year. Most accountants feel like toll booths. They show up once a year, you go to them once a year, something you only see when tax time arrives. You hand over shoeboxes of receipts, pay your bills, and hope everything's in order. But that's not how we operate. We want to be your trusted business partner, a GPS system that guides you throughout the year. Someone who helps you avoid costly detours and last-minute scrambles, alerts you when opportunities or risks lie ahead, and support you with clear, practical advice tailored to your goals. Building a relationship based on trust and ongoing communication, we help you save time, reduce the stress, and keep your business on the fastest, safest path to success. Winning the paperwork isn't just about numbers. It's about your life and your business. Maybe you've faced personal challenges, overwhelming seasons, life events, disruptions that really put that record keeping, making it feel impossible. And that's okay. We don't judge. We take time to understand your unique story behind your numbers. This empathy means we don't just chase receipts. We listen. This approach turns frustration into real relief and creates a space for smart, positive action. Instead of your typical accounting questions that like, where are those forms? Where are those receipts? Why are you late with stuff? Why do I keep having to chase you? You feel like you're being interrogated. But we ask things like, what's your biggest challenge been lately? What parts of your business are going really well? What's exciting you? How can we make tax and finance support your goals, not slow you down? These conversations build real connection and trust, so you feel comfortable sharing your wins and your struggles. That open dialogue helps us provide advice that's relevant and timely. Let me share you an example from one of our clients. We worked with a business owner who came to us, sadly, years behind in their taxes, feeling overwhelmed, unsure of where to start. Instead of that list of demands her previous accountant tried to give her, we started with a conversation, understanding her situation, her challenges, and what she was proud of accomplishing despite everything that was going on. Together, we built a simple, clear path. She's regained control, confidence, and now sees us as part of her team, reaching out before those big decisions are made and not after the fact. Time can never be replaced, but how you spend it makes all the difference. When you move beyond last-minute panic and isolated tax tasks, and instead build a relationship of trust and collaboration with your advisors, your business becomes more resilient and your days less stressful. Who wants less stress in their life? So if this sounds like something that would suit you or want more information on, please connect with me in the school environment, in Danielle's school environment. We're here to be that partner, that guide, and that support for your journey. Not a toll booth, but your business GPS. Together, we take control of your finances so you can focus on growing your vision.